right, welcome to Self-Titled. What episode is this?
23.
23. We'll go with it. Episode Michael Jordan and
LeBron.
okay. You know what? It's Friday. This is our second episode of the week because we have nothing better to do. So
Because Athens is on an actual lockdown. So here I am.
Yeah, I heard my sister who lives in Athens. She
Yeah.
over by your old apartment. She just texted me. Hang on, let me read this. So she's been giving us updates like every day about what's going on because Athens seems to be ahead of the curve.
We only have like 9 cases too.
But they're like, Athens is not playing. All right, so she texted this it was 30 minutes ago. So shelter in place life is interesting. They're patrolling everywhere. That was 30 minutes ago. What did she say earlier? They said there will be a major increase in police presence starting at 8 p.m.
Right.
Curfew's
not till 9.
Is it? I don't know why I thought it was 7. But anyways,
everybody thought it was 7 at first, but yeah, it's 9 to 7. No,
well, I mean, I guess I think the only reason why Athens is so ahead of the game on it is just because of these dickhead college kids.
Yeah,
that'd be my only assumption. Which I don't know. Whatever, it makes sense. I mean, you can't keep them from going to bars.
And
so
everybody just went because UGA spring break was 2 weeks ago, so everybody just went out of town.
Yeah,
came back. So that's probably why they're more worried about it than other things.
Whatever. That's what it is.
Yeah, but we're here doing a podcast. Mainly for fun, mainly so I know Tristan's working from home. I just worked for the first time in a week today. So there's just not many outlets to talk about things that I guess aren't necessarily important. So we're going to start this off a little bit of sports talk. If you could oblige us, if you'd lend your ear. And I'm going to ask you first. We'll talk about the biggest topic. And as Atlanta guys, how do you feel about Todd?
I'm okay with it. I know we touched on it the last one. I'm all right with it. I mean, it's for a year for what, $5 million?
Yeah, 7.
7. I don't see a problem with it. I think it's going to be cool. Me personally, I think it's going to be so sick seeing Todd Gurley.
6.
6? Okay.
Yeah.
Meet you in the middle. So I think it's going to be really cool seeing Todd Gurley in our throwback uniforms.
Yeah,
like I think he's going to look like one of the most terrifying human beings on the planet.
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's what I look forward to. I just think it's cool he's coming back. I mean, I'm not like, oh my God, this is game changer, and I hope he does well. I think he will, but yeah, I think it's cool. I don't have a problem with it.
I have no issue with the Falcons doing what they did. My biggest worry is when we first talked about it, I didn't want to trade because I wanted no part of his contract. And then when he got cut, my brain broke a little bit because I immediately saw people saying Todd to the Falcons. And for whatever reason, I was like, I don't want that contract. And my brain failed to realize that he's not under contract anymore because he was fired. And that's why at first on Twitter, I was so adamantly just against Todd. Because like I said, I don't think, he's not going to play 16 games for us.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to pay even close to $10 million a year. And me knowing the Falcons and their historically horrible contracts, especially under this regime, we have signed horrible contracts. I was like, great, we're going to sign Todd for like 4 years, $25 million.
Yeah,
and
like a big contract.
Yeah, we're going to give him a big contract after getting cut from one because he has arthritis in his knees at 24.
25.
25?
Which is crazy to me. I feel like he has been in the league for 10 years and we are the same age.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
He's young. But also, like, I was looking at because me and Reed was originally going to be on the podcast tonight because we got into an hours-long argument last night. I mean...
Oh, I missed this.
It was It was several texts back and forth with us sending each other stats and
Well, he is
bringing
very,
up
very
names.
pro Todd.
He was very pro Todd, and I know why Falcons fans want, especially Falcons Georgia fans want Todd, is because
It's a sentiment thing.
it's a sentiment thing, and like Georgia fans love Todd Gurley. Like there's never like they loved Nick Chubb, they they loved not as many loved Fromm, they loved Aaron Murray. Georgia fans love Todd Gurley. Like it's not even close. And you can come in. And
I see
everybody
you.
say hi to Caitlin. And Todd Gurley is one of the favorite, dogs of all time. So, and the Falcons were supposed to draft him. Like,
Right.
they easily should have drafted
We were
him.
like, it was like, we could have right like that. We were that close from having Todd Gurley.
Yeah, but we got Vic Beasley instead, which upset.
And look
Georgia
how that
fans.
turned out.
Yeah, it turned out phenomenally. I don't want to get on that, but anyway, so like I know why Georgia fans want him, or Falcons fans want him here. I didn't want to pay money for him because I don't think I'm all for players making money, and if they make money, I have no issue with it. Like I'm pro player, I'm pro players making guaranteed money when they're in the league. I would never sign a big contract to a running back. Wouldn't do it. Like I know Saquon, when it comes to his time, assuming he's healthy, he's probably going to get the largest contract. I wouldn't give him the largest contract because they're not going to last long. No running back that was drafted in Todd's class is with the team that drafted them. They don't last anymore. So like I wouldn't pay a running back. And I was thinking, because I was looking at all the free agents, and when I first looked, Kenyon Drake was a guy that popped up, right? He was in the Dolphins for years. He was always split back. And he got traded to the Cardinals this year, had his career year in the last, 10 games of the season with him. And I told Reed, I was like, I'd rather pay what we're going to pay Todd. I'd rather pay Kenyon Drake because he'll play more. And he lost his mind. And so he pulled up Drake's career.
Yeah, I think I pretty much know how that went.
And he sent it to me, and he was like, which one would you rather have? Like, he didn't have the names on it. Like on Twitter, it's like player A. So the stats player B, which player do you want? And like A is Tom Brady and B is Andy Dalton. And I picked who it was, mind you. I felt pretty good about it. But Kenyon Drake, his career, he only has 456 rushes. And he's been in the league since 2016. Like, that's it. He has very little to no tread on his tires. Todd, who's been in the league since 2015, mind you, has 1,265 attempts. That man is like a 1999 Honda at the age of 25. Now, granted, he has that many attempts. He has 5,400 rushing yards. He has 58 touchdowns. Like, I mean, he is productive, but he already has like arthritis. I'm not going to say that word as many times as possible. He's got arthritis in his knees. He's a running back, and he has worse knees than I do. Kenyon Drake is averaging. Bad. Yeah, Kenyon Drake averages 4.8 yards a rush. Todd's 4.3. Todd's been on Super Bowl teams. Kenyon Drake had been on horrible, horrible Miami teams and a bad Cardinals team this year. So I understand wanting Todd, but the people that were like, please come here, we'll pay you. Like, Falcons, don't screw this up. Like, you can't let your fandom blind you to the fact that like a running back's not worth it.
Yeah.
I'd rather pay, $15 million a year to 5 linemen than $15 million a year to a running back.
I mean, but like I said earlier, it's all sentiment. I don't think there's a lot of people, coming with that thought process behind it. It's just like, oh, come home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I was just like, and like seeing, I'm happy with it now. When I woke up this morning and saw that they signed him, I was like, okay. And I was worried that like Falcons 3-year, $30 million deal. I was fully prepared for that because the Falcons are just the worst.
Now they just need to go and draft DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, he's projected the 41st pick.
Really?
I didn't realize he was that low. He's the second running back. We're the 41st pick. So I don't think we're gonna get him, even though it's rumored we could. But that'd be nice. I'd like
I think
Swift.
that'd be cool. Imagine a
But
DeAndre Swift and Todd Gurley backfield.
yeah, that would be fantastic because we literally just split him on the sides, and I would
Yeah.
literally only pass to him.
But
we
your tweet earlier was pretty on point, though. I think it was Field Yates maybe that tweeted it, and he laid out our offensive, tools that we had. So
Juggernaut.
now, Matt Ryan, Julio Jones, Calvin Ridley, now Todd Gurley. I mean,
and Hayden Hurst that's coming in.
That's coming in from Baltimore, and
what's the other?
We're gonna go 5-7, like you said, or whatever. It was something like that.
I said 9-7.
Oh, 9-7, yeah.
9-7 best. Like that would be because we don't sign the teams that are good and win. We look at what they have and we say we don't want that. Mm-hmm. We want expensive names, really good skill players, which you need skill players, unless you're the Patriots. But they have offensive lines. Like the Patriots were dominant because Tom Brady throughout his career had like 18 seconds to make a pass. Like they have awesome offensive lines and they have good defenses. And you can, if you have those, you can have cheap wide receivers and cheap running backs. Not cheap, but like not star power names.
Yeah.
And the Falcons just can't like get that. They just don't understand that. So yeah, that's where, like, yes, I'm excited to see Todd be a Falcon. No, it doesn't make me optimistic for the season. And I know he's only going to be here for 1 year.
Didn't they just approve that CBA that added another?
I think 17 is going to go into
17
effect.
Games, and then they added a 7th seed or something like that to the playoffs now.
2 playoffs teams, yeah.
Yeah. So hey. All hope is not lost.
I mean, there's a chance you could go 8-8 and make the playoffs, but that's not that doesn't start for until next season.
Yeah, it's not next season. I think it's the season after. But
still, hell, Falcons will probably make plenty more playoffs. But I mean, still, I don't know. It's just. I guess it's because of the doom and gloom of the outside world that it has made the Falcons fans hopeful. Because they signed a Georgia player for once.
Yeah, something good. Something good came out of the hell.
Yeah, but ever since 28-3, I've had zero hope. No hope.
I was scrolling through TV the other day because there's no sports on, and of course they were playing the Super Bowl with the Patriots and Falcons, and the point that I had switched it when I turned it on. It was, I want to say it was like halfway through the third, and
everything went wrong.
Yeah, basically, but it was right before that. So the players were still like, they'd make a play and they'd be all pumped up. And I'm just sitting there, I'm like, they have no idea. They have no clue. Yeah. If only I could just reach through the TV and just be like, hey, warn them. What
sucks is there's not really any other Super Bowl that I remember every moment from. Most time, like you watch the Super Bowl and it's fun, but you don't get that into it. I remember sitting on your floor just at halftime, so nervous, like I wanted to vomit because like
that house was literally vibrating with like
nervous. Because like it was in our heads that like we're probably gonna win, but we were like, but this is Atlanta, where the players play until the very end and then they quit. And like you just kind of, it felt like something could go wrong, but like you looked at the score, especially when we came out and scored early in the second half, you were like, "There's no way." Like there's.
And I think was that when he threw the pick six. I think was that right at the beginning of the second half, and at that point, that's when I was like, and I think this is what did it. But in my head, I was like, "Oh my god, like they're gonna do this." And
I was already in my head planning on how I was going to call to work to go to the parade. I was figuring all that out, and then the strip fumble on Matt.
Well, we all know.
I just remember every moment of sadness. But since then, I've had no hope. I've had none. Like I until we win one, I will never have that hope again. Sure, I will say all these things, then I'll go into the season in my mind optimistic. It just won't happen. Yeah, I don't care how many superstars we have on offense. We have no defense.
I feel better saying stuff like that for the Braves going into the season if we ever have one. But
dude, I don't think we're gonna have one this season. That's everything that I've heard.
You saw the XFL canceled their season, right?
They canceled it last week.
No, they postponed it.
Oh, they full on canceled it.
Let me confirm this because I saw this tweet earlier from the XFL. I don't know. It was probably like 6 o'clock earlier. XFL. Please hold. All right. This was 6 hours. Okay, so it was 3. To you from XFL subject, thank you. Thank you to our fans. The COVID-19 pandemic and the most recent local and state regulations have left the XFL with no choice but to officially cancel the remainder of the 2020 season.
Huh.
So,
all that coming.
I tell you what, I think after whatever happens with the XFL, if they end up going under, which
I don't think they're going to.
I don't think either, but I mean, all I'm saying is I hope every person who has ever thought about like, oh, we need to make a football league, a spring football league that will start right after the Super Bowl. Don't, because it's cursed. It'll never work. Whether it is just a poor product or a pandemic.
But what
next thing that happens is going to be like, I don't even know. Like I couldn't even tell you. I mean, how do you top a pandemic? Honestly, I mean, other than the legitimate apocalypse, that's where I'm kind of like, I hope no one does try to start another league because I feel like it might trigger an apocalypse. Like,
that's fair. I think because the XFL in the first week made enough money to cover all their expenses for the year. Like it blew their expectations out of the water.
How many more games did they have left? Do you know?
I think they were playing
like 5?
Yeah, I think they were playing until April. So I think they had, because there's only like a 9-game season. Because there's only 8 teams. So yes. I think they're going to play until April. But I mean, it sucks for those guys that they couldn't play a full season. They all got paid, luckily. But the NFL won't sign those guys. Like they came out and like told the clubs like, hey, you can sign them, but not right now.
Yeah.
But I think it's because like nobody can pass a physical right now because nobody can go be seen by a doctor. And that, did you see yesterday, to kind of segue into this, how people were upset that like teams were putting a virus clause into the contracts that they were signing with the free agents?
No.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's termed a virus clause or not, but
pandemic clause.
Yeah, but they basically what they were saying is like because nobody can pass a physical right now.
Yeah.
Because you can't go to a team facility, you can't go see team doctors, like nobody can visit. So NFL teams are saying, hey, like we sign you, but if you do not pass the physical, we void the contract. And people are like talking about how shady the NFL owners are and like how like badly they treat the players and how wrong that is. And like I'm normally very much against NFL owners and just the NFL as a whole. And I've never been more confused why people are mad at the NFL for that. Like, that makes sense to me. Am I crazy?
I guess I don't know enough about it, but like from what you tell me on the surface, I'm like, okay.
Yeah, it's like literally the clauses are like, if you can't come the fall or come when everything goes back to normal, if you don't pass the physical, you fail. Like we're not going to give you the contract, and that's. I mean, like normally you would just take the physical before the contract. Like you would agree to just take the physical. If physical doesn't work, you don't sign a contract. So like I'm just confused, and I guess again this is more people are on Twitter than normal, and like I guess your average fan.
I think that is a lot of it. Because what else do people have to do now except just
tweet their
awful takes.